It's Wes and Ace on the Brisco and Big Ace Show.
All right, people. V-Styles and your boy Chip from a.k.a. Jungle Rock Jr. people, the future. Let's go, jump.
This ain't no laugh or no joking matter. She'll be slaughter any boy, anywhere for after. Who always like chat.
Can you hear it? Yeah, there it is. We did it successfully. Our intro is now on our YouTube.
Yes, finally. Big shout outs to V Styles. He's always kicking up with the new fresh beats.
That's right. Yeah. What's up, man? It has been a while. Like, a lot of things have been going on for us. First of all, in case you missed that episode when we were doing our weekly show, we're not anymore, obviously, as you can tell from the last week or two. And it wasn't working out. Schedules for you and I are just not stable at all at the moment. At least more you because you're traveling more than I am. But like it just wasn't working consistently like we hoped it would, so we didn't do that. But I gave that whole spiel on the last episode on the VOC Nation radio network, so thank you to them. And they're gonna keep putting our episodes on, so that would be one way you can download the Brisco and Big A show, is going to the VOC Nation radio network platforms and download it. So yeah, man. But so we're not doing that. The night that I did the last episode for that, though, you couldn't be on to, go over why we weren't going to be doing a live weekly show anymore because you were on an airplane. And now we were talking about this show the weeks before we did that last episode. So, I mean, people knew you were going to South Africa. Yeah. Now, I think the last time we talked, wasn't the goal to ride an elephant or a camel or something?
Yeah, I was going to surf an elephant.
Okay, so we'll find out if that happened. We'll keep that as the cliffhanger. We'll do that one at the end. But first of all, so you were on the plane to South Africa the last time you and I, or the last time that Brisco and Big A show had in a show.
Yes.
Like an episode come out. So first of all, what in the world was the travel like for this? Because I'm no geographic genius. I'm not looking at maps every day. So I guess I don't really know how far or how long it takes to get from the U.S. to South Africa. So let's start there. How long did it take you?
Of course, I could do the baby face. Hey, guys, sorry so much that I haven't been fully involved and we haven't been able to do the weekly show. And I know Big Ace kind of covered it, but I kind of just want to say that I'm sorry that we couldn't fully do the commitment like that. Our schedules have just been hectic. And like for me and Big Ace, like he just got a big, huge job promotion and I've been booked and been doing a lot of overseas tours. And it just got to the point where it wasn't really fun for us because it started becoming work. It wasn't like we were actually able to like have fun like the normal shows where we're kind of like laughing and always joking. It was kind of just all about having fun. It came to more like, oh my God, we have to do this episode at this time. Are we ready? Or we're going to be here, or making sure. I'm like, it just became to where it was more like work. And the whole platform of the Brisco and Big A show was always to make it fun. Like it was always about fun, and it started to turn a different direction. So now we're going back to the fun Brisco Big A show when we can actually have time and dedicate and give you guys 110%, because I felt like we weren't giving you guys 110%. So now we're back to the same old Brisco Big A show, laughing, chopping it up. But again, South Africa, Big Ace, holy moly. Do you know how long that flight was?
No, I want to know. Like, I thought I saw a picture on one of your social medias where you timed it, didn't you?
Yeah, so I thought it'd be cool for once. Like, I saw one of my buddies do it. His name is Parks Bonifay. He's like a 7 times X Games world champion, and he travels a lot. And I saw him do a timer because he did like a long trip, and I believe his trip was only like 18 hours or something. So I started the trip not from like sitting at the airport. I started the trip as soon as the first plane took off. I hit start and I did not hit stop until we actually got to our destination. The plane pulled up to the terminal and it was our last flight, our last destination. And they said, "You have reached your destination." Then I hit the stop button and it came down to, I believe, it was 24 hours, 32 minutes, and 35 seconds, I believe it was.
And now by doing it on that, you don't have zone changes aren't affected in that because you're doing it just on a stopwatch. So people who are like, oh yeah, but the time zone change probably wasn't 20. You just fit like no, like you timed it. It was legit.
It was straight on time, like no like stop, like it was straight timer. So there was no time change. That was the actual time it took me to travel to get to South Africa.
Like was that one flight or?
Well, okay, so I'll break it down to you. The first flight was about hour from Orlando to Atlanta. It's about an hour 10 minutes. But I actually flew through Tampa. So Tampa's like an hour 10, hour 15 minutes. Then from Atlanta to Johannesburg at on guys. Imagine being on the plane for 18 hours on one flight. So then we get to Johannesburg. I'm thinking Cape Town is very, very close. Guess what? No, sirree, Bob. That's another 3-hour flight. So as soon as we get done driving or flying 18 hours, I get on another airplane and go another 3 hours to Cape Town, South Africa. And then finally we made it.
Dang, man. That's man, like so we've talked about flying before because I did some traveling in my day for some DJing and stuff where I'd be on the road every weekend, and like anything over 2 hours on an airplane, I have to walk. I have to get up and walk for like 20 minutes because I took a big spell on my tailbone once when I was like blacked out drunk, and it's never been the same. And now after 2 hours, I know hardwood floors, blacked out. And now after 2 hours on a plane or just anything, I have to get up and walk around because my tailbone is killing me.
Yeah.
So like, when I flew to Hawaii and like London, like those were pretty big flights. Like I'm proud that I made it, but man, that's ridiculous what you just traveled.
Yeah, imagine, okay, you flew 8, imagine put another 1 next to it.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. Like,
yeah, to be honest with you, the flight going there was super fun. The stewardess, we flew Delta. Delta always takes care of me. It was really good. The stewardess were really nice. They were actually allowing me to stretch. But to be honest with you, I do better on the longer flights than I do kind of the shorter flights because I always get to pick my seats and then I always get a window, and I brought my own pillow. So I just kind of zonked out, and our flights were during nighttime, so I had no problem sleeping through the flight. So for me, it wasn't too bad. The stewardess were kind of mean on the flight going home, but other than that, the flights were perfect. I couldn't complain.
All right, now is this your first time in Africa? Am I correct?
Yes, this is my first time. So now I have done every continent.
Nice.
Yeah, that's something my dad told me. He was like, Wes, you've been to every continent. That's not something like too many people can say that they have done.
Dude, I've been to like 10 states and I'm proud of that. Like, so that's pretty awesome. So what was first impressions? You walk off the plane, you get out of the airport, you are in the thick of South Africa, someplace you've never been to.
I had like the biggest smile on my face. I was like a kid in the candy store. I was like, this is like a whole new era. This is a whole new country. This is a whole new scenery. And we pull up and there's a guy from TSW and then AWA with a huge sign with our faces on it, welcoming us to South Africa. And it was me, Michael Tarver, and Amber Nova. And we just had a big smile. They're like, hey, we're here to pick you up, hopped us into they had us a Sprinter van, and then we headed off.
Nice. That's awesome. And anybody who isn't already should be following Wes on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that. And you'll see a lot of photos that you did a really good job taking photos of kind of the trip and just being over there. So that I think you've got one of your guys' car guy waiting to pick you up.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'll be posting some more coming up later once I download a lot from my camera. But I took a lot of photos, and South Africa is such a beautiful country, and like I got the opportunity. I don't know if you guys got to see, but if you guys check out my Instagram, I got to go to Table Mountain, which is one of the seven wonders of the world, which is absolutely amazing. And another crazy part about this Table Mountain is that my dad, Stone Cold, and like Undertaker, and a bunch of people went to that same mountain. And my dad told me to stand at the certain spot, and I did. And my dad was like, I stand in that exact same spot you are, like 20 years ago. I was like, how crazy is that I was able to stand in the exact same spot that my dad was in South Africa, overlooking this crazy view and be on top of the seventh wonder of the world, knowing that my dad, Taker, Owen Hart, and a bunch of the guys were all in that exact same spot, but just 20 years later. Like that's amazing. That was kind of like, that was surreal, you know. It was just really cool. And then two guys, you gotta check out the Instagram, that video of me, like literally there was like no like borders, and like you guys know how crazy I am, so I like climbed over to the closest rock to where it was like a rock, and it was a straight edge all the way down, and I did like a little Instagram thing right there because you know your boy ain't scared. Just like when I was at the Grand Canyon, I was literally walking on the edges.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. That's a really cool thing to be able to say, and just a cool feeling to have that, like, my dad stood here with some of the biggest names in the business, and now here this business is bringing me to this spot again, just like him. And then on top of that, like, just because I think we get a lot of people who ask us about our show, and they're like, why don't we hear more about like you growing up with your dad being involved and stuff that you've gone through going through there, being that you're a second generation. And we've done a really good job trying to not talk about a lot of that stuff, because we're really hoping that this episode, that the special episode we want to do and do it live on YouTube video wise as well, would be during WrestleMania week, since it's in Tampa, that I'll come down and we'll actually do a sit down, the three of us, me, you, and your dad, and get those stories. Because people keep asking, like, we want to hear that.
No, nobody wants to hear those stories. Come on now. I don't want to hear my dad embarrassing me. Come on. That's the last thing. Especially on YouTube. Oh my goodness.
But it's going to make a great episode. But that's the plan. That's why we don't touch on a lot of, like, hey, what was it like, Wes, when, you know, your dad was going through the Attitude Era? Like, yeah, obviously people want to hear these stories and we want to give it to you, but we want to make it special too. So that's kind of the plan on that. So, and
two, like, I've been asked those questions so many times, but it'd be awesome to hear it with me and my dad, because then you'll fill in a lot more blanks than I can fill in.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. So now you got to go do this. Now, my next question then would be this: is, you're a surfer. We all know this. Besides wrestling, you're a surfer. You were a pro wakeboarder before that. But I mean, that's your love. You love to get out there and ride the wave. So my question is South Africa a place that you can surf at?
Oh, it's one of the surfing capitals of the world. There's so many good surf breaks. But unfortunately, I just didn't get the opportunity to. The work, and I just didn't. By the time that I was able to, would be able to go surfing, it was either too late or too windy, and I just didn't get the opportunity. But hopefully I'll be going back, which they said that I should be going back. And then they're actually trying to organize a show in the Congo, which will be very sketchy, but very cool. So it's a once in a lifetime. They literally told me I have to get 25 shots before.
Man,
25 shots before I go. How crazy is that? What do you think I'm going to get over there? Holy moly, I guess there's some diseases, but the opportunity to go to the Congo.
The outbreak monkey was probably out there.
Yeah, they said that we'll have a military brigade with us. We'll have 2 armored guys with AK-47s accompanying us everywhere we go.
What, this last year, 2019 for you, Wes, has been pretty interesting in the shows that have come up for you to get booked on. Obviously, South Africa, and now a possible show in the Congo, in the thick of it.
Don't forget, some people try to book me for a swinger show.
Yeah, and I was going to get to that. You were supposed to play a big time rock and roll festival as a side show, and then you were supposed to be at a swingers weekend party, like weekend retreat to do wrestling, which, you know, I'm still was wondering what their plan was for that wrestling show. Like, were you going to show up and they're going to be like, all right, close off and get in the ring? It's a swingers.
Negative.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. That was a nudist thing, wasn't it?
No, it was
The swingers was Waterloo.
Yeah. And then I also I've been.
But either way, you've gotten weird bookings thrown your way.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And a lot of them I turned down because I'm just like the Sausage Castle.
What the hell is the Sausage Castle?
Oh. So Gary, you know who Gary Busey is? The famous actor.
Yeah, Gary Busey, yeah.
Yeah, he has like a nephew that's like super crazy and hangs out with the juggalos and stuff.
Oh yeah, ICP.
And he has this crazy YouTube channel called The Sausage Factory where they do crazy messed up things. I end up leaving because I didn't like the way they were treating women. They were kind of degrading them. And for me, I really respect women and I don't like kind of what they were doing, but I ended up leaving. And then they tried to ask me if I wanted to get booked there again. And I said, no, just out of moral, how I am as a person, I just didn't like the way that they were.
Have you ever done any stuff with the Juggalo with ICP's wrestling?
No, because believe it or not, if I ever see one of those guys, I'll punch them in the face. They have a song actually dissing my dad and uncle.
What?
Yep. The lyrics go something something F Jack and Jerry Brisco da 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 da.
Man, and they try to wrestling fans. How dare they? I mean, I never listened to their music, so I would never know that they had that in there.
Nah, I like to punch him in his face.
Okay,
because here's the whole reason. Like, yeah, my dad's the one that fired him, but my uncle had nothing to do with it. So you pull my uncle away, and when he's passed away, and you didn't want to say some bullshit like that, like.
Yeah, plus there was no business of them being on TV back in those days.
No, and just like you don't have to bring my uncle involved. He had nothing to do with it. So you know what? Pow! Next time I see one of them, like
yeah, fuck those guys. They suck anyway. I've never been a fan, but
I respect their fans. Like I respect.
Oh yeah, and the
Gigolo fans and stuff. I just don't respect those two dudes.
Yeah.
So don't get it wrong. I respect you guys and the followers and everything you guys do. That's totally cool. That's what you guys choose to do. But for me, that ain't me.
Right. So, oh man, that's crazy. Before we keep going with South Africa, funny thing, because we were talking about the swingers thing, which made me think of the hotel in Waterloo. We told this story from our Waterloo weekend where your hotel room was literally next door to a swingers party.
How crazy is that? Well, luckily, it wasn't right next door.
Yeah, you had like
it was enough where you could hear them bumping uglies.
Well, but I mean, like they were doing it with doors open. They weren't carrying. Like no cares in the world. So the reason I bring this up is I don't know if you've seen it, but it came out this week that that hotel is now getting shut down. They laid everybody off, and the new owners finally have taken ownership and are going through full renovations, and it will be open in like August of 2020. So awesome, but that means we will not be staying there this year for Waterloo because it won't be open yet.
I wonder if the Waterloo people know this.
Yeah, they do because they were the ones posting it. It was the Iowa group that was posting it, so, and we were all like, "What?"
I mean, I hopefully they didn't fire the two young lady and her daughter because they were very nice and very sweet. So hopefully they didn't let them go. But that hotel finally needed renovations badly. Like, and it's like that town is so beautiful and so nice. Like, hopefully everyone this year gets to go check out the Waterloo Hall of Fame. I highly, highly recommend going. You get to meet all the legends. You get to watch really good indie shows, top notch talent. It's something that I highly recommend everyone. Definitely, please go see the Waterloo Hall of Fame and Lou Fez. Like it means a lot to me, and I guarantee you, once you go once, you'll get hooked.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what happened to me. Went once and just now I'm there every year, and the birthplace of the Brisco and Big Ace show. So awesome.
Yes, it was.
All right, man. So,
yeah, let's go back to South Africa.
Yeah. Because you were doing a lot. Like, dude, they had you on like their like it looked like their like morning today or whatever. Like you were doing like publicity and everything.
Yeah, about that.
I want to hear all about it. I will say this:
you want to hear the nitty gritty? You want to hear the nitty gritty?
Well, here's the deal: because in the picture from the TV show, in that studio shot where you got your like coat on and everything, you didn't look that happy though.
Wow. So we're all getting ready for the TV thing. We had a really long night the night before where we flew and traveled and we were doing TV, and we had to be at the studio at 5 a.m. So I'm on 1 hour of sleep. And of course, I always look like $1 million. I'm always going to dress flyer than everybody, look better than everybody, talk better than everyone. That's just how I do it. That's how I was raised. My dad says, you want to be a superstar, you got to look like a superstar. So, I got my suit jacket on. I'm all looking good. I'm all ready to go. I woke up everybody. I was first one up, had my coffee. I was ready to go, all smiling, laughing. I get there, and they're like, oh, you ain't going to talk. And I was like, excuse me?
What?
I was like, wait a second. We're only going to be on morning TV show. I look better than everybody here. I'm stunting. I mean, I look good. Everyone else is in like a gym shirts and like sweatpants. I'm in like, nice express with a really nice button up, just looking like $1 million.
Fly at the toe, bro.
And I'm ready to spit that game. I'm ready to, promote this company, do this, do that. Hey, I'm second generation West Brisco here, former professional surfer. So good to be in South Africa. I can't believe the culture, the experience, the food that I've tasted. I'm ready to just go off. And then they're like, oh, no, you ain't talking. I'm like, really? They're like, no, just stand there and look like a badass. And I was like, you got me up at 4 a.m, had me dress and look better than everyone here. And now you just want me to sit here and not say nothing?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm furious. I'm pissed. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was a little upset because I know I'm a very good speaker. Plus you don't get over if you don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
No one, if you can't communicate with the people, they don't understand why you're here. You can't relate to anybody. No one can tell your story better than you.
Yep.
And not being able to get the opportunity to be able to tell my story on this platform in South Africa, on the news, I'm ready to go. I look better than everyone. They just like, nah, we ain't got enough mics. I'm just like,
you better share that damn mic then.
yeah, but there wasn't. They didn't even. It was not. I was so upset at the time that I was just like, you know what? That's what they want. I'll sit here and act like a badass. So I just mean mug the whole time. So then the smart ass TV guy goes, finally, I finally asked Wes a question. My producer wants me to ask me if you could show me a move. And I go, if I show you a move, I'm gonna break your neck. And
yeah, all right, guy, come here.
Yeah, I said, I looked dead in his eyes. I go, I show you a move, I'm gonna break your neck. He goes, well, I think we're gonna end on that. Group photo. Of course, I'm just like, get me out of here.
Yeah,
guys, I gotta wrestle tonight. Like, I just want to go back to my room and go sleep the rest of this day and pretend that this never even happened.
Yeah,
it was a cool experience, whatever. But I was just so to tell. I'm so glad that we have the show, so I'm able to tell you guys the backstory and let you guys actually know the reason why I was just like.
Well, and I've gotten to know you enough now over the last few years that like instantly I looked at that picture. I'm like, oh, he was pissed. He wasn't happy. That's I don't know what was going on, but he was not happy. This is not a happy West face right here. This
I think I forgot who else. Maybe it was James Storm or someone else commented and was like, "You look like you're having a great time, Wes." Either it was James Storm or Marty Scroll or who else? I forgot who else. I don't know, or maybe it was Swag. Someone said it, and it was pretty funny because they were
dude.
they were like, "It looks like you're having a really good time, Wes." I'm like,
yeah, you definitely. I definitely like because everything else you were just like loving life. I was like, Wes is having a ball out there. Then that one picture, and I'm just like, ooh, that was not a good time when that was taken. Oh, it's so funny. So, okay, you got all through all the. Did you do any other like media, or was it just that? Did you do any like radio stuff?
We did a lot of newspaper interviews. We did a couple of little radio shots, but that was our main TV, and that TV is shown all throughout South Africa. That's their top morning show. That's their Regis or Kathy Lee or whatever.
Nice. That's cool. I mean, that's next time you go back, you should show that guy a move though. Be like, hey, remember last time? Come here.
I will bring his name.
All right, so we get through all the media. We're gonna get to the show, but what are the accommodations like? Is it nice out there? Are there like
beautiful? Some of the nicest hotel rooms I've ever stayed in my life. Oh my God. 4 stars, 6 stars, whatever, how many stars you want to put on it. It was absolutely beautiful. They took care. AJ and Sean, they really took care of us. I mean, TSW and AWA, that company is fully legit, 100%. I consider their family now. I mean, we stayed in some of the nicest hotels I've ever stayed in my life. Like, really, really nice hotels.
nice? All right, and then so did you get to see kind of what it's like their home life, their whatever the traditions are?
Oh man,
South African lifestyle. Like, let me hear it. I want to know what it's like when you're down there. What are like the locals up to? What's the cool things that you're gonna see or do down there that you're never gonna experience home?
Well, first of all, West Briscoe. I ain't gonna sit in no hotel room.
Right.
Sit there and watch TV or whatever. I didn't even go to the gym. I was like, I'm exploring. I'm having fun. I'm going to go see South Africa. I'm going to wake up every morning and go adventure. So I went out and adventured a lot. I went to the nightlife. I woke up in the morning, went to the beaches. The people there are absolutely so kind and so nice. I mean, yes, there are some rough areas. There are some pretty ghettos, but I mean, there's ghettos everywhere.
Mhm.
And yet, during the nightlife, there were some people that you just kind of got to watch out for. But that's with anything, just mind your P's and Q's. Don't like floss money. Don't act stupid. Don't get so drunk you don't know your surroundings. Just have fun and embrace everybody. And man, one of the days, AJ brought us back to his family house, and they had the whole family, and we did a whole South African brine. A brine means barbecue. That's their barbecue.
All right.
And man, I literally never ate so much food, and all the food's so delicious. And in South Africa, there's like, especially in Cape Town, there's so many different ethnicities and different styles of food, from seafood to curry to lamb chops to steak to fish. I've never had barracuda. You know me, I'm a fisherman.
Oh yeah.
I've never had barracuda, and they had barracuda curry. Oh my God, it was amazing. Like, I can't say nothing but good things about South Africa. Like, and the promotion and the people I was with are top notch, 100%. And the talent there. Oh, Mr. Johnny. I mean, they got talent out the butt, and they're really good wrestlers. And the crowd and the people really love wrestling over there. And it's a really great experience to see how well because I didn't know how good the South African wrestlers were. I had no clue that they were just as good and better as some of the American wrestlers, which blew my. And another thing that I really loved about the locker room of the South African crew of TSW and AWA is that they're all really close. they're all like a really close brotherhood. They all look after each other. They all watch everyone's matches. They all support each other. They always pat each other on the back. They always try to elevate their talents. They're trying to like put people down or being like, oh well, that's my spot. And it was very, very cool to see. They're very humble. They're very respectful, and they're a great group of guys. And I'm missing South Africa right now. I wish I was there doing a tour with them right now, doing shows with them right now, because it was nothing but love and respect and a great time.
Nice. I want to ask, you mentioned the wrestling fans, the crowd. I saw some pictures from the venue. I mean, it was a legit production. It looked really cool. It looked like an awesome little arena. My question is, though, is like every region's fans are different. You go to the UK, and the fans are different as they get into it a little bit more, but like they sing, they sing their chants. They don't really do a lot of chanting. It's more singing for their favorites. You go to like Japan, and it's more of the just clapping, quiet. So what is it like in Africa? Like, what are the wrestling fans like at the show? Are they chanting like they hear in the States? Is it a little bit of everything? Are they a little bit quiet and more just watching the tech? Like, what is it like?
They hate leg slapping.
Really? Really?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Yeah, the first thing the promoter goes, I hope you don't leg slap. I go, nah, I hit hard enough that I don't have to. And he laughed. He goes, that's what we want to hear. But yeah, they hate the leg slapping. That's one thing that they don't like over there. They like a good storytelling, and they like hard hitting wrestling and good wrestling. They don't really care about so much of the flippy stuff. They like more of the hard hitting, telling the story, submissions, and then doing some fun spots. But that's pretty much the style of wrestling over there. So it's kind of like Japan.
Okay.
It's more like Japan. They like the hard hitting, stuff. So, that was fine with me. I didn't care.
So many people here would never get over there because of the leg slapping thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's just so normal now here. Like everything we watch, it's leg slapping.
It's so funny because I actually yelled at I was watching the show, and this kid's like, hey, will you watch my match? And I did. And he goes, what did I do wrong? I go, well, you gave a guy a back elbow and you slapped your leg. I go, what the hell is that? And he goes, oh, sorry. I go, why the hell would you slap your elbow on a back elbow? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Right.
Like, I'm just so used to it. I go, you need to stop that. Like, save it for the right moments, because you're just blowing it all the time. And then you won't get that final yay where everyone goes, ooh. It's just going to eventually just get to it's like overdone. And then half the time they do it so shitty. They're like, I see their leg slap. Or the best is when they slap their leg so hard that they leave a handprint on their leg from themselves doing it. You're like, how the hell does that even happen?
Oh, that's great. Oh, that is amazing. I love that. All right, so the show looked really cool. Can we watch this anywhere? Is it on YouTube or anything? The match?
Yeah, they're going to be posting it on YouTube.
All right, cool. So, what was your match? What were you main eventing? Were you getting a title shot? Was tag? Was it 3 days?
I'm always main eventing. What are
I know.
you talking about, son? Yeah.
Maybe they had an elephant that was main eventing that night. I don't know. I have to ask.
Yeah, well, that would definitely outsell me. I'll tell you that right now. I would buy tickets to go see the elephant.
Right.
Yeah, I got to wrestle this guy, Johnny Piazza, and he is very good. He is like the legend of South Africa. He's kind of one of the coaches of the school. And so the first night was me and him main event. We went about 35 minutes, and we had one hell of a match. I mean, it was probably one of the matches where I'm always going to remember it. I mean, he's a great worker, and it was a blessing to get in the ring with him.
Nice. Very cool. Now, you guys did more than one show?
Yeah, we did 2 shows. We did one in Cape Town and one in Johannesburg.
Okay. What was the other match you did then?
I wrestled this guy. His name is actually Wesley, the same as mine.
Ooh.
And he plays like a psycho character, which was really, really cool, because it was like I helped him try to get his character over and how to actually work his character in the match, and like do spots where like he like talks to himself and gets out of the ring, and like so I was able to help him with some more creative spots to like put that craziness into the matches, and he was very, very good. he forgot some things, so I had to lay it in on a couple of clotheslines.
Oof. Oof.
But it happens when you don't listen to the boss,
That's right. All right. Well, so overall, great trip. You want to go back. You're going to hopefully go back.
Oh, I'm definitely going back. That's the plan is definitely going back. They're planning to do like 8 or 9 shows, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna go to visit a couple of schools and hospitals and do some PR, which I really wanted to do in the first hand, but we just didn't have enough time. But we're gonna do some more promotion wise and stuff like that.
Nice. All right. And then for the payoff, did you ride an elephant?
No.
Oh.
No, we were supposed to go play with tigers and elephants. Yeah, but the night they've had they had a serious drought this whole time. And the last night, the day that we're actually our last day there, where we're supposed to go play with the tigers and go see the elephants and rhinos, it rained so bad that everything was flooded out, and all animals were like, we weren't allowed. It just didn't happen. But
awesome.
Going back, and I promise you, I will surf that elephant.
I like it. I just
I got this thing. This my buddy Nightmare gave me this.
Shout out Nightmare.
Yeah, shout out to Nightmare. This gaming system is so dope. It's his company. It's his gaming system, and it's all the old school Nintendo games.
Really?
Yeah, like it is like so much fun. I mean, you guys can check it out. It is badass. I mean, Empire Games, you guys definitely check it out. But it has like all the old school games. So literally, like on the plane, like he gave it and he goes, "You're gonna love this." So I didn't mess with it the whole time until I got on the plane. And then there's probably like 300 old school, like, the Nintendo games that we used to play.
Right.
It was a blast, and it was so much fun. And it comes with cables where you can hook it up to your computer or the TV or anything like that. But shout out to Nightmare. Thank you, Nightmare, so much for the gift. Dude, that gaming system is sick. Hopefully, we'll be able to do a show with you in India. He runs a promotion out in India. So
nice.
I'll be able to get out there. But shout outs to Nightmare. Thank you for the gaming system.
Yeah, that's what's up. Empire.
Empire.
All right. Well, I'll try to get the link in there when we put this episode out. So awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you had a good time, man. That was really cool to see that you got booked, and we were talking about it for the weeks leading into it, and it was going to be a cool thing. So that was, I'm glad that all worked out.
Yeah, man, me too. I was just so excited. And again, big shots to Sean and AJ for putting it all together. And big shots to actually Adam Rose. Because if it wasn't for Adam Rose, none of this would happen. Adam Rose actually, they were like, hey, you guys know some Americans that could go over there that won't be trouble, won't be prima donnas or whatever. And Adam Rose, first name he said was West Brisco. So it was, if it wasn't for Adam, I wouldn't have been booked. So big shouts out to Adam Rose, man. Thank you so much, man. You're always a brother to me. And hopefully, we represented you right. And just want to say thank you.
Hell yeah. And then now, am I right when I say you got back and then Canada? Or was Canada right before? Canada
was right before. I was in Canada and then I flew home for a day and then I lost the title in Canada. Yeah, I ended up losing the title. It ended up being an interference. My partner actually, we do like a little Aces and Eights Quebec gimmick out there.
Okay.
And the so-called president turned his back on me.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, not cool.
Yeah, and caused me to lose the title. So,
I'm gonna rate that president a really bad note.
Yeah, I would. I would. Definitely. Send Jason a bad message. He's on Facebook somewhere.
Yeah, we'll find him. All right, but how'd that trip go? Was that good, dude? So. What was it like when you got home? Were you just like done?
I got home and drove straight to Miami.
Oh, you had a show in Miami too?
4.5 hours. And then I came home, was home for a day, and did last night just wrestled.
And last night was
USA Pro Wrestling.
And you had that was the Pope.
Yes, the Pope Elijah Burke.
Oh shit! Yeah, dude.
Tore the house down. Me and him always have good matches. Those 2 out of 3 falls. It ended as in a kind of like we both end up hitting a big move on each other, and we both had our hands on each other, so it was kind of like a double DQ. It was a great match. It was a really, really good match. I love working the Pope. We just told a great story, and he's a really good wrestler, and we had a really good match. So big shouts out to the Pope. Nice. Looking forward to the next match. We're gonna have, I think, False Count Anywhere's match.
Ooh, damn.
That should be one to definitely check out. And pretty much, yeah, I really have this month I've been home 3 days. So that's why, guys, I was telling you guys I was so sorry that we just couldn't fulfill the weekly episodes just because I've been crazily booked and there's been so much going on. And, I still want to thank the VOC Nation for still pumping out our stuff, and you can still find all the stuff at the VOC Nation. Of course, always our YouTube channel, Brisco and Big Ace Show. So
yeah, for sure. Big shout out again to those guys, Brady, Bruce with the VOC Nation Network, who approached us with that. And again, like I said, very cool that there'll be another source to download the Brisco and Big Ace Show. So all that's done. You're home now. When's the next show? Do you have a little time at home to relax?
No, the next show's Miami.
And when is it though?
Next Friday. So I got a week.
All right. So you get a few days.
Yeah.
You got some time. All right. Well, I feel like it would be not just if we didn't talk a little bit about just wrestling in the business and things that have been happening as of late while you've been on the road. And I think it would be not, we wouldn't be doing our duty if we didn't at least get the opinion of Wes Brisco on what obviously I would think too is probably been the biggest story out of the pro wrestling world in the last few weeks, and that is this whole debacle of the Saudi Arabia travel and everybody being stranded there. And was it mechanical? Was it business? Were they being kind of held hostage? Were they not? A lot of things going around of what really might have happened on there. Money being owed for past shows, not being paid, cutting feeds off so the Saudi Arabian people can't see it for like the first 2 hours. And then basically...
we'll slowly do a rundown of each one.
Okay. So I'll catch you up. We'll go through what this whole situation was. So they went to do Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
Show ends. They're supposed to come home. They get on the plane. They end up sitting on the plane for like 6 hours, I think, on the tarmac before finally getting told they had to get off the plane, and then eventually being told that they weren't leaving and they had to go to the hotel. Now, they kept being told it was mechanical issues. Mind you, like Vince and Triple H and Brock and all those guys, like the real big top of the top left hours before the rest of the talent. So I think they said about 20 WWE employees / wrestlers actually came home when they were supposed to, and like 175 talent and WWE employees were stranded.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's rumors that it was they're claiming mechanical issues. There's rumors going around that they still owe Vince money and WWE money for the last 2 big shows they did in Saudi Arabia and that they have not been paid. So what they say he did is that during that show, Crown Jewel, they supposedly cut the feed so that the Saudi Arabian people couldn't watch it for like an hour. Like they just didn't air it on TV, which then upset the prince supposedly. And there's also some wording of there's also some rumors that some of this is being a little bit fueled by the women's match that actually happened at Crown Jewel, the first ever women's match in Saudi Arabia. Happened on Crown Jewel, which WWE's been pushing to have happen every time they've been down there, and it finally happened this time. But I think wasn't completely accepted or something. And then but then there's people who are saying it was just mechanical, and then by the time it was fixed and everything, the pilots would have been on that plane for over 24 hours, which is illegal, so they couldn't. That's why they couldn't leave till the next day. But again, a lot of talent overall from what the reports are. Again, I'm not a reporter. I don't know. So a lot of just the stuff that's coming out on the media though about this is saying that basically talent felt like they were in the middle of a dick swinging contest between Vince and the Prince because business was not going how it's supposed to. So they were kind of just trying to one up on each other because there's money owed. But the other interesting thing is while they're for Crown Jewel, they also extended the contract to like 2027 with Saudi Arabia and added to another big scale show per year to what they're doing out there. So it's really weird.
I can clear all that up with you real quick.
And then and before we get that again, this also caused almost all of the SmackDown like talent to not be home for SmackDown on Fox. They didn't make it till after the show was already off air. So yeah, that's basically where it was at.
Yep. Okay. First of all, WWE doesn't do nothing until they get paid. They're not going to be like, oh, I owe you 2 shows that they have to spend so much money to get certain talent there and pay guys bonuses and stuff like that. No, that wouldn't happen. And 2, first of all, if the Prince wanted to like hell back someone's plane, I don't think it would be the small town because the small town really doesn't. It's not going to hurt the show. It's Vince's private plane. It's Triple H's private plane. It's Brock's private plane that they really wanted to like mess somebody up. Those are the planes that they would stop, not the kind of like C team guys, because that's why they were able to easily fill in the spots with the NXT guys, which I thought was kind of cool because then they gave the NXT guys a little bit more notoriety, and then now they got to be on Fox, so now they. You know what I mean? It kind of built that brand. So it was kind of a good thing and a bad thing. But I know it sucked because they had a lot of the crew members, a lot of people that set up the ring, a lot of people that do, just this behind the scenes stuff. So that kind of really held them back a lot. But I don't think it has anything to do with that because A, they wouldn't re-sign the contract. Vince doesn't work with that. And those guys have so much money over there that they're not going to not pay. Like, those guys have more money than they know what to do with. I've seen the way that I've heard stories from my dad. Those guys will literally give guys, thousands and thousands of dollars just to come show up to their kid's birthday party if they're in town. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ever seen the pictures of, like, Randy Orton's at that kid's, Prince's house, and he's hanging out with the kids?
Yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, they probably give him, like, 100 G's to stay.
Right.
Hey, what's up? Come say what's up. You know what I mean? Like, so the money ain't a thing. And the cable feed, that's all technical. I mean, I've seen it happen. I've been on TV. I know how hard it is to get everything right. Like, even when I was doing that morning show, they actually ran, they were behind like a couple minutes because they weren't able to get the feed up. Like that things happen like that. With the women's wrestling, I don't know. I can't really say because A, I'm not there, and 2, if they allowed it, then obviously they got the rights from the higher uppers. You know what I mean? Or maybe that's the reason why they didn't air part of the show is because of the girls' match.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, that could be a possibility and still make everyone happy, but I don't think it has anything to do with the relationship between the Prince and WWE because I just don't see that happening. They're all about making money. That's all they care about, and they're both making each other a lot of money. So I don't think that has anything to do with it. And if he really wanted to stop someone's plane, he would stop Vince's plane or Triple H's plane or Brock's plane. He wouldn't stop the C team.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was
not going to hurt anybody if some of those guys, but it would hurt if Roman or Brock or those guys don't. But I heard Brock actually allowed a bunch of the dudes to hop into his plane, and Brock actually took a lot of guys with him.
Yeah, well, he saved Hogan is what he did. Hogan got stranded. Hogan and Jimmy Hart got stranded halfway. Brock's private jet happened to be en route, so they hopped in with him.
Yeah, well, I heard he brought some of the boys with him too.
Yeah, so that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting situation. It's this whole Saudi Arabian deal just did not give WWE the best look. And that's simply just because of what was going on between the countries at the time this contract was signed, but it's just an interesting thing to be like, because like the other reports were saying that people like on talent wise were like, we feel like we were abandoned, like they knew there was something going on and they took off and then we got stuck here for it.
They were mad because people were in private jets and they were stuck in a regular.
Well, and that's just it, yeah.
I would have said the same thing. I'd been like, "What is this? This is crap. Everyone's on private jets, and I'm sitting here, and But
when I questioned the source too, because one of the big sources for a lot of this was, I think his name is Hugo Sanchez. He used to be a Spanish announcer for WWE. And on top of that, he's been known that, he's gone through a lot. Like, dude was like a big alcoholic, drug addict, stuff like that in the years, and he had to like go get cleaned up and stuff now. So again, it's weird that he kind of came out of nowhere claiming all this stuff, that he was talking to people and he knows that this is what it's about. But again, still just interesting, and again, a great opportunity for the NXT roster.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was, and on hindsight, I think it was good for everybody. So, for the talent that got stuck on the plane for 6 hours, but I've been stuck on the plane on the tarmac for that long too. So, so that's not nothing new. That's not like something out of the ordinary. It's happened to me.
Yeah,
I had to pull it in and then get another plane, and then I actually said, "Nah, I don't feel like flying."
Here was the other thing, though. Here was the other thing that made it, that added fuel to the fire of why it maybe wasn't mechanical and something else was really going on, is because the White House did say they got briefed on it, the situation. And that's what started really fueling, like, okay, this isn't mechanical. If the White House is involved, like, that ain't mechanical.
What source is that? Did the White House come out, or was this just a rumor from some wrestler?
No, I think this came from them, and it came out like when it was happening. Like an actual, like, legit news source. Like,
you can pull out the legit news source, then.
Well, I'm not gonna say legit, but not a wrestling news source, like an actual like Fox News or NBC News type of deal. I think said that they were briefed on it or something, or maybe like Forbes. I don't know. Someone said that. So that's what really started to throw the fuel on the fire, as far as like, oh, it's not mechanical, it's something else, because the White House now knows about it, and why would they need to know? But again, it's like, I remember that Hugo Sanchez. He's the guy that got like creamed when Mick Foley came off the top of Hell in the Cell.
Yeah,
like he was that guy that just got the raw end of that deal.
He got paid already for it.
But it was interesting though. It was a very interesting situation that happened, and it played perfectly. I was like, dude, this plays perfectly in the Survivor Series, because you get NXT that chance to come out and make themselves noticed, and not just a developmental. And I could have done with them changing it up a little bit for Raw, not just doing the same exact thing and invading Raw too.
Yeah, I know. I think they saw that the ratings kind of boosted a little bit and was like, "Whoa, there's something different." So they're like, "Oh, let's throw it on Raw real quick," Hey, let's get another little buzz while we can.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then and it worked. We'll see how Survivor Series goes, but ratings definitely helped out for that, because they took that big hit that one night when they got moved to FSN. But AEW is starting to take a hit too. If you start watching now, they're about neck and neck with NXT as far as ratings for Wednesday nights now.
I know, and a lot of that to do is when you turn on sometimes and you see a guy that looks like he's 20 pounds, you're going to turn the channel.
Who's that? Who's 20 pounds? I don't even know who we're talking about. So here, I'll tell you this, Wes. I haven't been watching NXT. I've actually been paying attention to Dynamite every week.
What's Dynamite?
AEW.
Wow, but that's what I'm talking about. AEW has some, like, I don't know.
And they had their first pay-per-view last night after having a couple months of actual network TV to help lead into it. And I think it came off really well.
Well, I haven't got the chance to see it.
Yeah, I think it was a really good show. Your buddy was on it, Mr. Hagar, Swagger, looking off his shit.
So, what did you think about his DQ? I think that was bullshit.
I didn't get to see it. You're talking about his Bellator match.
dad would because my dad. I was talking to him this morning, and he was like, "Wes, check this out." So he showed me on YouTube. I watched it. I don't really think. The first one was he missed, and then the second one was accident, and then the guy just soccer sold it because he knew he was all busted up in his face, and Swagger was just dominating this guy.
Yeah,
and,
they're still saying he's undefeated, so we'll just
So we got like a DQ. He got disqualified for.
I missed that one. The last fight I saw I did watch Diaz and Jorge last weekend, the big UFC pay-per-view. And it was a great match, and it was bullshit that they called it on Doctor's Call. Diaz is a fighter who is known to just get beat up and bleed.
Yeah, that's his style.
That is his steel. And he even said, he's like, I was 4th and 5th round next. I was just about to turn it on. Like, why are we stopping? I bleed all the time. Blow on me, I bleed. Like, who cares? Oh. But they stopped it because they thought the cut was too bad. But I think if they wouldn't have, I think he would have won.
Yeah,
I think he was.
Why didn't they stop it with Robbie Lawler's cut? You remember that cut?
Yeah, right.
Holy moly. They didn't stop it for that cut.
Right. Yeah. So it's, I don't know. That was questionable.
I think it's UFC kind of dicking over Nick Diaz.
Oh, for sure. And I think he knows.
I think that's a work, and I think they were trying to get him out of there as fast as possible, and some type of
Yeah, and it might have worked because he's talking possible retiring now because of quote his word, my second for the show, the UFC fuckery.
Well, I agree. I mean,
true, yeah.
We just said that. Like, I believe that.
Which is a shame because he's.
That happens, Dan was like, call the facts, call the match. See that? Call it. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah, it's a shame because he is an entertaining guy to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a badass. He really is. And The Rock was on it. That was the other thing. Rock was there to give out the BMF title, and Diaz threw shade at him at the end at the press conference because he
doesn't like The Rock. What happened?
No, he's like, oh, with all due respect, I love The Rock, but if he's going to be smiling with the guy who beat me, man, then fuck him. He can get it too. And he's like, nah, man, I love The Rock, but yeah, he can get fucked up too, man, just like all of them. I was like, what? Dude, Diaz is the shit, man. I love that guy.
Yeah.
So, well, dude, it was great to have an episode back.
Yeah.
And it was a really good episode. Everybody, keep watching for more stuff. You said you got more stuff coming out from South Africa, some more photos and stuff from that trip. So watch for that. You got Miami in a week.
And then Atomic, where your boy is the heavyweight champion of the world.
What do you got? You got like a 3-way dance coming up. Is it extreme or is it just a triple threat?
I don't know. We'll figure out when I get there.
Either way, you're going to keep the belt. That's all that matters.
Yes, sir.
Just don't let Superhuman take it from you or whatever his name is.
Man, if he comes anywhere near me,
Anyways, make sure you're at Miami and Atomic Wrestling. You're not going to want to miss it. So, all right, everybody, we'll be back with another episode of Brisco and Big Ace. Watch for it. Again, follow us on Twitter at Brisco and Big Ace. Facebook, we're on Instagram at Brisco and Big Ace. Of course, we each have our own stuff too that you can find on there. I think it's just West Brisco, right? At everything. At West Brisco. Yeah. And I'm either it's at Big Ace or at Big Ace for life, depending where you're looking. But yeah, man, it was good to catch up.
Yeah, man. And again, I'm sorry, guys, that we've been, but now we're back to how we are, and you guys, we're gonna be putting out really good content, and that was the whole thing. Is like, hate to keep dragging on it, but it just became where it wasn't fun for us, and now it's back fun. We're actually having fun. Like, this conversation was awesome. Like,
yeah, man.
And this is what we want to get back to, is having conversations like that and not being stressed out about being on time and having to do it on this day. Because some days we don't feel good, and I don't want to put out something if I don't feel good, or just not, me being.
Well, that's the biggest thing too. Yeah, is that we're busy. There's days that you don't feel good. Winter's starting over here. By the way, we have snow already. So yeah. The shit's
outside. I'm about to go sit outside.
Yeah, thanks. Anyways, and then so getting sick and just not feeling good, and there's days that hey, you're a wrestler. It takes a toll. Then there's some days that you just don't feel like it because we're not in the right headspace. And why put out a show forced when it's clearly not sounding like we're enjoying ourselves? Where we could just be like, hey, we'll feel better tomorrow. Let's just do it then. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be more freewheeled as it was before. And we were doing fine. So we're going to keep it going. And again, you can find us still on the VOC Nation network. You can download it there. You can download it on iTunes, Podomatic, I think Stitcher Radio, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
And then, too, mainly check out our YouTube channel. Please hit the like buttons. Please hit the subscribe buttons. We want to start doing a lot more on YouTube. We really, really want to start building that YouTube up. So, guys, if you can, please just leave a comment, hit the like button, hit subscribe, tell a friend, grab your friend's phone, just subscribe anyways, turn off the notifications, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's right. And hopefully in a few weeks, we'll actually be up and going live. So when you see us say we're going live in a half hour, we will be live in a half hour and you can interact with us through Facebook and YouTube. So watch for that. Otherwise, guys, it's been an episode of the Brisco and Big A show. We'll bring you another one here. Hopefully in the next week. We'll see you guys then.
Yep. See you guys. We love all y'all.